So, welcome once again to my vlog series, Technology. I'd just like to explain the difference between the library app versus the YouTube. So, library is about decentralization of platform, while YouTube is a centralized platform. So, dito gusto ko i-explain kung ano yung pagkakaiba ng dalawa. Once and for all, gusto kong mauna yung disadvantage ng dalawang platform ito. Pag sinabi kasi nating centralized, hindi naman ibig sabihin na corrupted na yung centralized system compared to the decentralized, emerging decentralized technology. Kasi hindi naman natin mapa-perfect yung isang system eh. Not unless it was tested and it was evolved over time. So, naging advantage lang yung decentralized system kasi all of the sudden nagwi-weaken na yung centralized system. So dyan pumapasok yung decentralized protocols. So take for example, Bitcoin. Unexpectedly, hindi alam ng tao na kung kailan puputok yung financial system. It was once burst during the economic crisis of 2008. That is why Satoshi Nakamoto had the reason to create Bitcoin back then. Then, during this time, it was again collapsed. And nagkataon lang na sa 2020, nagkaroon ng realization yung mga tao tungkol sa cryptocurrency. We are on the verge of cryptocurrency revolution. Another example is na Venezuela. So, unexpectedly, hindi alam ng Venezuela na magiging adaptive, magiging useful yung cryptocurrency sa kanila. Kasi kung hindi na-invento itong cryptocurrency, they will still on a broke situation. May iiwan sila sa generation natin eh. Kasi talagang highly inflated yung lugar nila and then wala silang plan B, which is using cryptocurrency. So, gumagamit sila ng crypto ngayon doon. Then, as far as I could recognize, Venezuela is currently innovating or the first country to adopt such kind of system all over internationally. So medyo nonsense yung topic ko. So balik tayo dun sa topic na comparison between YouTube and library. So dun muna tayo sa YouTube. Siyempre, YouTube is the most powerful video content creating platform na dinisign sa generation natin. Right after 2002-2003, hindi pa nag-boom yung internet, pero pagdating ng mga 2006 and above, almost all people are online using YouTube. For me, naging very useful yung YouTube during my teenage to college years kasi hindi mo na kailangan mag-learn at school. Kasi meron kang matututunan online na topic lang na gusto mong i-search, gusto mong matutunan, andyan na, bibigay na sa'yo, then mapapag-aralan mo na agad. That's the beauty of YouTube. But all of the sudden, dumating na sa point na kung saan nagiging iba na yung concept ng pananaw ng tao sa YouTube kasi marami ng content creator na nag-create ng kanilang content, but all of the sudden kokonti lang yung na-recognize kasi nagbe-base yung YouTube sa algorithm and popularity. So, meron siyang business model na kung saan kung ikaw yung pinaka-popular, ikaw yung pinaka-famous, ikaw yung babayaran ng YouTube. Sila yung magbabayad sa iyo ng buo, in full. But, kung titignan mo, it was a centralized, which means they are still considered a business entity which are entitled to somehow greed, na concept of greed or profit-making company. So, sabihin na natin kahit gaano ka-popular na tao, hindi lahat ng expected mo na sahod mapupunta sa'yo, diba? Unlike sa decentralized system, kung ikaw yung popular, ikaw yung viewer, yung tao mismo ang magsusupport sa'yo, hindi na dadaan siya sa third party na kung saan nag-gain ka ng popularity, nag-gain ka ng mga viewers, then this is the traditional centralized, dadaan ka pa sa YouTube, then YouTube will pay you depending on their capacity, depending on their rules and regulation. So that's the limitation. So kumbaga makaka-receive ka ng sahod mo, pero parang yung 10% pupunta dun sa kanila, sa commission nila, sa paggamit ng platform nila. That's how money rotates on YouTube. Unlike the decentralized platform like this one I'm discussing, the library, automatic ikaw nag-handle ng node, ikaw nag-handle ng popularity mo, ikaw nag-handle ng gains mo. Yung viewers mo directly will have a support directly given onto you. Idediretso nila yung bayad sa hindi na sila dadaan ng third party. Kung gusto na lang supportahan ka, so supportahan ka. So number one disadvantage ng YouTube is that it is a monolithic power and control bias. Pag sinabi mo kasing monolithic power and control bias, it means it was actually a centralized system wherein there is an authoritarian or shareholders. So, di ba, like for example, gagawa ka ng isang startup company. So, kung sino yung pinakamaraming share doon sa company nyo, pwedeng iboboto kung sino magiging authority doon or magiging CEO. But usually most startup, the CEO or the founders are the one who founded. Almost all CEO currently living today are the ones who had the majority of the share upon the company. So that is how YouTube was designed. YouTube was designed to be a business corporation which has the power or the monolithic control over the entity. So, kung may ayaw ang YouTube, kung meron silang restriction or banning in terms of their business motive na pansariling interest, doon nagkakagulo ang isang corporation. Kasi handle siya ng isang bias control. Baga, tao pa din ang nag-handle sa kanya that has a capacity to destroy someone's reputation in the name of business. So number 2 disadvantage ng YouTube is that content restriction and demonetization. So kapag nagpo-post ka ng mga violent, nudity, pornography, child abuse, there is a tendency that YouTube will ban you automatically. So it doesn't apply on a decentralized platform. So naging disadvantage siya in a way that what if YouTube will abuse that kind of content restriction? Pipiliin lang nila yung tao na gusto nilang i-ban in the name of money, in the name of advertisement, na makaka-benefit sila ng profit. Pwede nilang actually hindi i-restrict yun, yung mga ganung bagay. Pwede silang magpalabas ng pornography, child abuse, as long as babayaran siya ng other corporation, not in the name of their law or legal standard. So ang kawawa sa content restriction and demonetization, yung mga content creator na suway sa paggawa ng video. So that's another perks na pwedeng maging disadvantage ng YouTube. Number 3 is that annoying advertisement. For my 12 years, almost 13 years experience in YouTube, walang time na hindi ako nakakakita ng ads eh. Talagang may isisingit sila sa harap, may isisingit sila sa gitna, then sa dulo. Advertisement is how YouTube was built upon onto. Kasi without advertisement, there would be no profit for YouTube. There would be no existence on their kind of centralized corporation. So it's like Facebook na kung saan naging giant yung Facebook dahil sa advertisement, di ba? Doon nagyaman ng todo si Mark Zuckerberg. This is the same way how YouTube operate. But as a customer, as a consumer, napaka-annoying yung always mong nakikita yung mga advertisement na bigla kang sasamukin sa momentum ng pinapanood mo. So walang pinagkaiba yan sa mga palabas na ABS-CBN, GMA na kung saan may mga advertisement na 3 minutes. That's how they earn their income and how their business platform survive in a capitalistic world. So number 4 disadvantage ng YouTube is that algorithm-based popularity is more likely to be upbring rather than someone you follow. So in short, yung algorithm ng YouTube ang nagbibigay sa isang tao kung ano ang gusto nilang panoorin sa araw na ito o sa panahon nito. Unlike in decentralized platform na kung saan, kung ano lang yung finalo mo na mga content creator, yun lang yung pwede mong mapanood at pwedeng lalabas doon sa home page mo. But in YouTube, it's very different. Kasi may mga video dyan na kahit saan-saan na lang, hindi mo alam kung saan pinulot ng YouTube, ni-recommend na lang sa'yo bigla. Which is kinda exciting for you, somehow, but kinda disappointing kasi hindi mo naman finalo yung taong yun, hindi mo naman finalo yung content niya, but ni-recommend sa'yo ng YouTube. So, it's likely to be disadvantage. Lalo na kung ikaw bata ka tapos wala kang kaalam-alam na ganito, sinendan ka ng ganyan ng YouTube, which is disadvantage on your part. Which is, it can be bad on some viewers na mapanood yung ganyang content na hindi nila ginusto, but they have been recommended by YouTube. So number 5 is that some copyrights are being restricted. So number 1 is royalty, music, and other videos which can be restricted by YouTube na hindi mo pwedeng i-download, hindi mo pwedeng kunin at ilagay na lang sa video mo kasi they are subject to copyrights law. That's how business are born onto. Gagawa ka ng isang popularity music that may copyrights ka, that's how you gain an income onto it. Diba? Which is, itong background music and copyright restriction, it inhibits our creativity to function properly kasi naranasan ko ito na gumawa ako ng isang video sa YouTube na kung saan ginamit ko yung music background na gustong-gusto ko. Toto Africa, Aha, Take On Me. Nung in-upload ko na siya sa YouTube, hindi ako nabigyan ng chance para gamitin yon. So, ni-restrict ako ng YouTube for that kind of music or video presentation na ginawa ko with. Just gustong-gusto ko yung music na yun kasi sabi ko, pagtanda ko, maaalala ko yung music na ito, maaalala ko yung sound na kung mag-travel ako. That's not how the centralized video content creating work kasi pwede ka nilang i-ban or i-restrict doon. So, ang ginawa kong other solution is that kinuha ko na lang yung music background ng YouTube mismo na medyo kulelat yung tunog. Kaya medyo, nung pinost ko na siya, nasira yung momentum ng video content ko, which is kinda disadvantage or kinda disappointed. But on decentralized platform, I was free. The freedom is there. Nung sinubukan kong i-upload yung video ko na original talaga, na yun yung tunog, gumana siya. Then walang nag-ban sa akin. Lahat ng people pwedeng mapanood yung content ko na yon with that kind of music, kind of copyright music. So, hindi ko naman ninakaw yung music na yon, hiniram ko lang para dun sa content ko. Diba? Imagine how decentralized platform will evolve if that kind of system will prevail na kung saan may ginawang something yung isang tao based on his or her passion only, but the next generation will follow and only gather that kind of idea. Di naman wholefully na kinuha nila yung buong patent na yun. Inalo lang nila dun sa sariling creation. Diba? Kasi ideas are free kung tutusin. But in a capitalistic world, it was inhibited on us at some point. So, there's limitation. So, last but not the least na disadvantage ng YouTube is that it's business and it's not actually free. So, dahil sa mga advertisement na mga ads, doon lang natin na kukuha yung attention na pwede tayong manood sa YouTube eh. But if ikaw yung tao na ayaw mo ng ads, ayaw mo ng ganito, ganyan, magbabayad ka sa YouTube. They are considered as business entity na kung saan you cannot use them wholly, freely. You must pay them. So, kahit nga yung music na or yung movie na nagkamali ako one time na dinownload kasi dati mahilig ako manood ng movies all of a sudden, nag-download ako ng movies na free online. Hindi ako kasi marunong dati mag-Pirate Bay or mag-torrent But today, alam ko na kung paano gawin yun. So, natempt ako ng YouTube na bumili ng isang movie sa kanila na Ready Player One. Hanggang ngayon, nandyan pa rin yung movie na binayaran ko almost 200 plus. Na kung tutuusin kapag pinanood mo sa sinihan yun, it would only cost 110 pesos. But on YouTube, I'd buy them accidentally, thinking that it would have an advantage onto me, but I was wrong. So, nung nalaman ko itong BitTorrent, Pirate Bay, 1337x.to, andun na lahat ng movies They are free, they are decentralized. BitTorrent is actually a blockchain decentralized protocol also. So, yun lang naman yung naging disadvantage ng YouTube. When it comes to a capitalistic world, it is an advantage platform, but in a decentralized way of thinking, they are still a profit motive company that upholds or limit the creativity or consumption of a certain consumer. Shift naman tayo ng attention, doon naman tayo sa library. So, kahit na sabihin natin revolutionary yung decentralized na system, na kung saan magiging decentralized na daw lahat ng mga platform sa internet, kasi meron na tayong Web 3.0 or Polkadot project na kung saan yung blockchain and another blockchain can be merged, or yung bagong proposal ni Tim Berners-Lee na internet version 2 na kung saan decentralized ang way of transacting to other people. So, library, despite revolutionary, has its own disadvantage. So, upon 3 days of using this kind of platform, medyo nakita ko na agad yung disadvantage nito kasi number 1, censorship resistance. Pwedeng mag-upload yung mga tao dito freely ng idea nila, thoughts nila. Kung may mental disorder yung tao na yun, pwede siyang mag-upload ng kahit ano. Pornography, violence, fake news. Lahat yan pwede niyang i-upload without restricting, without the power of an authority to close that out. Diba? So, what's the solution? The solution would be to have an authority also to control that kind of situation, kasi pwedeng ma-abuse. Pero kung siguro mag-evolve yung ganitong klaseng problem, masusolusyonan ng artificial intelligence, might be, or computer algorithm na pwede niyang close down agad itong mga ganitong content automatically, nakaprogram na. Pero hindi yun ganun kadali kasi you need an advanced AI to do that. So, number 2 is that library has a consumer adoption problem. So, hindi pa ganun ka mass adoption yung library, kaya mahirap mag-transition from YouTube to library. Halos lahat ng nag-upload ng video sa library ay meron ding account sa YouTube. Surely 100%. So, kung naban ka sa YouTube, pwede kang mag-upload sa library. Pero mas gusto ng tao pa sa ngayon yung quality and yung YouTube, kasi na-perfect na yung YouTube in terms of content creating and how YouTube incentivize people, reward people based on their content creating and based on the viewers they would accumulate over time. So, consumer mass adoption would be a problem for library kasi the hardest part of this is transitioning the people from this kind of large market to another. Not unless YouTube will set this track on its own, like the financial system of Venezuela, na automatically lilipat na sila doon. So, number 3, disadvantage ng library is that kung ang decentralized system, meron siyang motive na community-driven lang siya. Hindi siya pwedeng maging motivation as profit entity. Kasi nagiging success lang yun sa centralized system. So, kung ihahalo mo yung profit motivated or profit driven sa isang decentralized system, masisira yung
isang sistema na yun. Take for example, yung pag-abuso ng potential infringement or copyrights. Yan, 'di ba? Torrent, for example. Marami silang pinirata ng mga videos, music na pwede nilang i-upload online and i-share. Kakalabas pa lang na pinaghirapan ng tao yung movie na yon, 'di ba? Shinare na nila online. Then it was free online. Nagkalat na around that's the abuse. So sa library, this is the same. Kasi pwede kang kumuha ng mga video sa YouTube na hindi sa'yo at i-upload mo dun. Kasi wala siyang copyright problem or wala siyang potential infringement na ano. You have the freedom to upload this video and tokenize. Ikaw ang kukuha ng credits for that upload. So, malaking gulo or malaking disadvantage siya kapag ganun yung nangyari sa library nito. Ito yung makakasira sa decentralization of platform na ito eh. So, number 4 na disadvantage ng library is that meron pa siyang weakness in terms of their total platform. Although it was already 4 years old, I think, kasi 2016 or 2015, meron siyang weakness in terms of something na pag nag-upload ka, pwede mong itag eh. Yung pwede mong itag na nag-travel ka but you can tag it as a sport para makagain ka lang ng viewers, di ba? Kung saan yung best fitted na maraming nanonood yung tao, di ba? Pwede mong itag yun doon eh. Kahit hindi ganun yung video mo. Yung video mo na parang simple lang, naglakad ka na sa daanan, tapos tinag mo na siya as crypto revolutionary. Maraming magsa-search nun. Then, all of the sudden, yun lang yung pala yung nakita nila na lumalakad ka lang sa daan na walang ka-content yung video mo. It was in algorithm weakness. Number 4. Last disadvantage nito is number 5, spam abuse or uncontrolled comment. So, kasi sabihin na nating decentralized siya, the platform has no control whenever people made their comment or wala na silang control kapag nandyan na yung video mo. Then all of the sudden marami kang basher, marami kang something na magsisiraan ka or magpo-promote ng profit motivated advertisement nila. Doon masisira yung isang decentralized platform. That would be their weakest spot. Kasi pwede silang mag-spam abuse, diba? Uncontrolled comment, mag-tag sila ng mga Bitcoin advertisement, Bitcoin scam, yung mga tinatag lang sa comment sa mga Facebook na nonsense, diba? That's not how the platform will evolve and will hope not to be. Kasi yun yung biggest disadvantage ng platform na ito. Uncontrolled siya. Not unless we evolve that kind of system. Doon na lang tayo magsasabi kung saan talaga yung mananalo. Profit motivated driven incentive system or community driven system. So decentralized versus centralized. So thank you.